Happy New Year to all the heathen viewers. This is episode 74 of I Know What You Watched Last Week. So on New Year's, have you made any resolutions?
Are you actually asking me?
Yeah.
Right? Oh, yes, I have.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be a protein mummy.
Right. My one is I'm going to give up all of my bad habits by December 31st, 2026, and I'm going to reassess my options.
That would make sense as to how you've started the year. So.
I'm about it.
Well, if any of you have any interesting New Year's resolutions, mine wasn't very interesting, but you asked me, so I answered. Yeah, do let us know. I'm sure we're all very eager to hear.
Dying to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this week, what do we watch?
We watched, I'm going to call this the college week, even though one of them is technically not
College
college.
week.
But they're all, again, groups of teens. So, college week.
Do you mean it's derivative?
No. I mean, they're all from, what, the 80s?
Hell yeah.
So...
You know it rules.
They kind of helped cement it rather than derive.
So much better than today's crap.
We started with Chopping Mall. Did you get it?
That's one of the videos that I would see the front cover in the video store, in the horror section. But just, it never appealed to me, even though the front cover was good.
But...
Front cover was pretty classic.
Well, I'm very sad for you and your life that you didn't come across it sooner.
It was nothing like I thought it was going to be.
You loved it.
Because I thought, Chopping Mall was just going to be like another guy going around slashing people.
Yeah, absolutely, which it was not, so stay tuned to hear why. And second, we watched Splatter University.
Yeah, the first of 2 trauma movies again this week. So last week it was 3 trauma movies. This week it was 2 trauma.
Kick.
And again, I didn't know there were trauma releases.
It just appeals to you.
But
clearly.
now, yeah, the titles appeal to me, the posters appeal to me, the write-ups appeal to me, and also now the algorithm has just recommended me trauma films after last week's 3.
Oh gosh, why?
Love trauma.
That's like blanked my third title. So please, third film we watched.
Graduation Day.
That was it.
Yeah, probably the most famous, arguably more famous than Chopping Mall.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you say so, I believe.
So what are your rankings for these 3?
It was actually quite easy for me this week.
Number 1 was easy for me.
I did not enjoy any of them.
What?
What, you didn't enjoy some of them?
Oh, I thought you said you didn't enjoy any of them.
No, I said I didn't not enjoy. Double negative.
Yeah, double negative. I'm not listening to those. Stay positive.
Third spot goes to Splatter University. Then it's Graduation Day. And top place is first of the week's watch, Chopping Mall.
And as I said to you, it was never going to get any better than Chopping Mall after watching that. I've gone bottom place Graduation Day, second place Splatter University, and on top, well in front, Chopping Mall. So we're going to start with my third place.
What a surprise.
Graduation Day, the first trauma movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
I liked this one a lot, actually.
A lot.
Yeah, it reminded me of like a forerunner of other horrors that have come since, with the, the sports accident sort of vibe, situation, scenario.
Well, we opened with a sports montage of kind of Olympic games, like, track, pole vaulting, stuff of that nature.
A bloody long one,
The
I
crowd
must say.
are going wild,
Yeah.
The opening credits are coming up, so that's probably why they've elongated it. The crowd are going wild, but there's this woman called Laura who they're cheering on, or a student, should I say, called Laura, who they're cheering on. I'm like, Laura! And all of a sudden she just collapses and dies. And that's what kind of the whole movie is about. Her sister comes and then tries to find out what happened.
So I already had issue here, though, because I know this is not a modern day thing with all the safety standards that we now have, but if
Health and safety gone mad.
Doing like a full track and field sporting event, wouldn't you think there'd be someone with like a slight medical knowledge? Plus, I'm pretty sure all teachers would have had to have first aid training.
I was thinking, where were the first aid lot?
Because the reason I say this is when Laura crosses the finish line and within a couple of seconds has collapsed onto the track, people do run over, first of all, her boyfriend and her coach. But nobody is trying to, feel for a pulse. Nobody's trying to give her air. Nobody's doing anything. Her boyfriend's just hugging her and everyone's just accepting that, right, okay, yeah, Laura's gone. We're not even going to bother trying to help her.
The world was more free. If you die, you die. So, the next thing I remember, right, is a van pervert. There's a guy driving a van, and a naval lady gets in, We don't see her getting, but she's already in the van. And the guy who's driving the van, he looks like a cross between Rabsy Nesbitt and Harmar Superstar, so you know he's fresh.
But without any of the, star power.
Do you know the star power of Rabsy Nesbitt?
No, but I know Harmar.
You know Harmar, yeah.
Yeah.
You do know Harmar Superstar.
He's picked up hitchhiking Marine Lieutenant Anne.
Who is the dead girl Laura's sister. He's
basically saying, like, hey, come on, I'm giving you a ride, so maybe you can give me a ride. And putting his hand on her thigh.
Yeah, well, what he, first of all, he scopes her thigh first, and then he's telling her a story. And the people who are in the story, he's like, blah, 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 blah. Apparently they're a real couple of lesbos.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah?
When she then, of course, turns down his advances.
No, we've got to talk about the advances,
because when his hand is on her.
She's not really responding to him. Then he's like, what's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Don't worry. I got enough tongue for the both of us.
What a line.
That's when he mentioned that he's a taxpayer. She's in the naval
Shocking she didn't fall for it.
He's a taxpayer, so she owes him, apparently.
Yeah, and he's giving her a lift.
Yeah, and she doesn't succumb to his advances. So, of course, he comes to the conclusion, you're not one of those lesbos, are you?
Yeah, I'm sure that's the reason she doesn't want to succumb to your advances.
But then she hits him with the naval training, grabs his balls, and is like, you'll be, I'll eat your balls for breakfast if you try one more thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's got spunk.
Oh, she's in the Navy.
Yeah, good scene. Next thing I remember, right, is there's a girl jogging through the woods. Jog. She's grabbed and slashed and killed.
Don't forget the stopwatch as well.
Yeah, I didn't forget the stopwatch. After the stopwatch, what was more in my mind was the camera just goes from, her foot to her arse and just lingers there for a good, I'm going to say 7 seconds.
Just to show you that she's definitely dead.
She's dead, and here's her bum to prove it.
Yeah, that was such a weird shot to linger on.
I wasn't against it.
It was really bizarre.
Wasn't against it.
Really bizarre.
Because now she's dead. We're back at the track, and the coach is there. Coach George Michaels, right? Not George Michael.
Also the woodworking teacher.
yeah. Well, that's what happens in public schools. Yeah, I had that. Like, I think my sport teacher doubled as just standing teacher whenever someone was sick, or just teach anything.
Jack of all trades.
Yeah, that's why I'm so smart. And so now it's picture day, and coach is pissed because the girl's been off in the woods. She hasn't shown up, and it's picture day. So George Michaels ain't happy.
She's their best runner as well. Now that Laura's gone. So
Anne, after this picture day disaster, Anne then turns up at her mum's. And she's got either a dad or a stepdad called Ralph.
I think it's a stepdad. Yeah.
Gotta be a stepdad. And he's not being very nice to her.
It is a stepdad,
and
actually.
She's just come back from Guam. That's where she's been stationed.
Come all the way from Guam. Because she's here to pick up Laura's graduation certificate, I think, and trophy. And yeah, he is an absolute piece of work. Mostly to Anne, but also to Anne's and Laura's mum. But it's definitely stepdad because he says, oh, and to think I raised her like my own. She's
a put-upon woman, though, her mum. She's always defending Ralph, I think I said his name was Ronald. And it turns out Ronald's a photographer, and it doesn't go anywhere, but I bet he's a dirty photographer. That's what I thought. And also, Ronald, he's all about that money. To him, it's 1980 Skrilla.
Right, yeah, no, but also, because at some point the thing comes up of, oh, Anne, are you keeping the stipend, like the money? For some reason there's
and
money.
She shouts over the balcony.
And she's like, do you hear that? I'm not keeping it. He also, I wonder if this was like a theme that happened earlier or if he's just decided now. He raises a hand as if he's going to strike her and she just kind of gives him the I did learn some things in the Navy.
Yeah, so he's already given it the big one downstairs and now he's going into a room and threatening to slap her about. But yeah, luckily for her, she's got the naval moves.
He doesn't even push it. He doesn't even, want to test what she's learned.
She steps to him.
Yeah.
And also, I just want to mention that in her room, she's got a poster of the Bee Gees with their open shirts, really hairy chested.
It's actually Laura's room, but yes.
That was manly.
Laura's room was very pink and girly, wasn't it?
Yeah, after the Bee Gees, right, Anna's now in the woods.
She's trying to find... No, it seems to be that this whole university complex, or it's a high school, isn't it? Because they're about to go. This whole complex is just surrounded by this massive park because... Correct me if I'm wrong, but they always just seem to be going through the woods to get places.
When she's walking through, she bumps into Sally.
Right, one of the other
track team. A student called Sally, and Anne asks where the auditorium is, and then mentions to Sally that you remind me, or something you're wearing reminds me of my dead sister, which is a bit of a weird thing to say.
It was a bit
Freaks
weird.
her out.
Because
Freaks Sally out.
obviously, being in the same track team, apparently, as far as I was aware, track just means like track and field athletics.
Yeah.
But apparently in this film it also covers all sporting events because the girl she's talking to now is a gymnast.
I didn't see any football.
Okay, well, never mind. But it includes more than just track and field. And yeah, she has the this university like running medallion.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the eyes that she said, "You've got beautiful eyes. They remind me of my dead sister."
Yeah.
So obviously the girl's like, "Okay, bye, see you later."
Yeah, weirdo. Now, there's
Yeah.
something a bit, I don't know about this. So, graduation day, is there a practice for graduation day? Because that's what we have now. We've got all the students, like, dressed up in their, what do you call those stupid hats they wear?
I don't
and
know.
Schmocks.
Four-corner hat things.
And, yeah, the head teacher, I think, he's up there, all
Guglielmi.
the students have been unruly.
They are.
Yeah, but they're practicing. They're like, right, so you've got to get up on the stage, I'm going to hand you this, and then you're going to wave and say goodbye. I mean, why do you need practice for that?
I guess it matters because he specifies like what hand they're going to pick the certificate up with and stuff, doesn't he? So
And from
I
Guam...
don't know why they had to come in full costume.
Well, you got to make it feel like the real event. It's like, what's that thing they do before a wedding? A rehearsal dinner. I was like, how do you rehearse a dinner?
Yeah, I think it's just called that. I don't think you actually rehearse anything.
Right. Anyway, Guam Lady Anne, she turns up
Could be wrong.
where this practice is going on, and she ends up talking to a guy called Kevin, who is her sister Laura's ex now.
The one who's cradling her lifeless body.
And she ends up going to his house.
Yeah.
He's got a grandma who's kind of just
Nutty?
not even nutty. Just,
Get out, I'll set the dogs on you!
Yeah, okay, she's lost her marbles, I guess. Yeah, she's sitting in front of the fire, and she's gone there to get info on Laura.
Yes.
And stuff like that. And then I've got 27 minutes, 15 seconds. Tits. First show of tits, 27:15.
I know at least one of the other three films also had tits at the 20-minute somehow mark. So that
And
must be
it's the character Sally, and she's in the locker room, and the lights go out.
The
She gets
gymnast,
a bit
right.
freaked out for a little while, but there's just two naughty girls. The two naughty
Yeah,
girls.
these two girls, they just appear all the
Yeah.
time, everywhere. And Sally, as you said, she's a bit freaked out, and she sees a door closed that neither of the girls were near. And so she's freaking everyone out. She's like, shh, shh, the door just closed. And they're like, stop it, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. Their voices at this one particular scene really got to me. The sound mixing was not very nice.
What Sally is doing is she's getting ready for a photography session while she's doing her stint on the bar. And the coach, George Michaels, is there, and he's really on her ass, isn't he? You better get this right while you're doing your bar routine.
She told him, I'm not feeling my best, I don't really want to do the full routine. And the photographer has said, I only really need a couple of spins or whatever to get what I need.
Which he says he's got already.
And yet, the George Michaels coach, he is adamant. He's like, don't let me down, do your thing.
Sounds to me like
And,
George Michaels has no faith.
And he also... were you getting a slight pervy vibe from the way he was looking at her?
No, I wasn't. I was more concentrated on how just demanding he was.
When she was doing it correctly, he was there like...
Maybe just happy with his work.
Yeah, it was either that or pervy. And
So
I think it is just happy with his work. Because the perviness didn't come into it again.
So if you were a director, you'd be like, Mr. Michaels, a bit less pervy and more, you're the best, the best.
Yeah.
You know?
Also, we mentioned the stopwatch in the first offing, but I don't think we mentioned why that's relevant because George Michaels was standing by the finish line of the race when Laura passed. And he's got the stopwatch and he keeps going like, make it under 30 seconds, make it under 30 seconds, push it, push it. So that's why the stopwatch 30 seconds
What
thing
happens is,
important.
anyway, Sally, she ends up having a vision of dead Laura or something like that when she's doing her bar routine. She doesn't stick the landing, so Coach gets super pissed. Coach George Michaels is like, hey, na, because he's not happy with that landing. And yeah, so then she walks off and she starts shaving her legs in the sink. And a guy comes out in a fencing uniform, a fencing mask, and he fences her with the fencing stick.
Yeah, well, he
in
also,
the neck.
He got it was a sword. He used a sword. It wasn't an épée or whatever they're called, the fencing ones, because this one was...
An épée.
Épée.
So not an apex.
I know how to spell it. I'm not sure how to say it. Épée. I think it's a French word. Anyway...
Like pissoir.
Those are supposed to be like flimsy with a ball at the end, so, they can't do any damage, but somehow he's in a locker just pulled out a proper sword.
Yeah, so she's dead. But now it's time for happiness because there's Mr. Roberts, the music teacher, and he's riding away at his piano doing a superb musical number, and the girls are going wild.
Yeah, he's got three young girls just loving it. And,
yeah, he's a teacher.
The parties, I can't handle it.
Yeah, he's letting them know that he's tired of the industry, but you should have seen the parties. Yeah, he's letting them know that he's an industry player.
Yeah, this guy reminds me of something as well, but I can't... Oh, actually, I think it's 2.5 Men, the original Charlie version, where the other jingle writer guy...
John Lovitz.
Yeah, him. That's what it reminded me of.
Right. So he's impressed these 3 women already, but then Dolores walks in, and the other 3 girls walk off, and then Dolores just gets her tits out.
Well, she doesn't just, like, boom, get her tits... It's because
pretty much.
He starts talking about, hey, I can't pass you because you basically didn't even show up to class this year, and then she gets the tits
She's
out.
shown up now, though, yeah, with her breasts, and then he just starts sucking at the teat.
Yeah, I noticed when she pulled...
Oh, Dolores!
When she pulled his head towards her,
Yeah.
she's, like, accidentally lifting his toupee off as well, which was just a nice little extra, I thought.
It's not just Mr. Roberts is getting some. Mr. Googly Only, the headmaster's also getting some from Blondie, his secretary.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Blondie is not just a nickname, that is her name.
They organise a midnight dinner. Like midnight.
Right,
it's a
after
weird
she's
time
got
to
all
have
her work
dinner.
done, that's why.
Yeah, and then for some reason he hands her some tapes, and I don't think they're very important apart from this part with Mr. Roberts, the piano teacher, singing teacher. He goes to the basement, like, to look for some running tap or something like that.
Yeah, he heard some noises.
And in the background, a tape is playing of him enjoying Dolores.
Was it Dolores? Because
Yeah.
I thought it might have been with someone else.
No, it's Dolores because it literally says on the tape, "Oh, Dolores."
Okay, so there's evidence. He doesn't seem that concerned, though. I would have thought a teacher who's been caught getting it on with his high school student would be a bit more concerned that two other students have just set this trap for him.
Now, look, you said
Your life would
that
be over.
Dolores didn't just whip him out. But after he finds a tape, the next scene is Dolores and some prey of her, some guy sitting on a bench just smoking weed, and someone's looking at them through the woods, like through the bushes. And he's just laying there, like, smoking away. She's like, "I'm horny and I want it now." And he's like, "No, we've got a bit of time later." She's like, "No, I want it now." And that's taking off his belt.
And they only get stopped because some local policeman...
Yeah, Officer McGregor, he comes
Shows
along
up.
and he busts them, takes their ganja, smokes it. But I'm like, he should be arresting Dolores for sexual assault.
It wasn't even theirs. He's got his own stash, which he hides in a fake bullet in his pistol.
Anne is now snooping around the school, and Coach George Michaels, he catches her, and he's like, "Oh, don't blame me for your sister's death. It wasn't me pushing her too hard." And then she's like, "I'll see you around." So she's kind of like being planted after being in the woods and then saying, "I'll see you around," as being like a red herring.
Yeah, she definitely thinks that he killed
Yeah.
Laura. I mean, so the reason
I was talking
Laura
about Anne
died...
being a red herring.
We find out... Yeah, well, there's another reason, but let me just finish this one. We find out that Laura passed because she had a blood clot. So Anne thinks it's because she was being pushed too hard by the coach and the team in general.
You just said push too hard. I had a Beavis and Butthead comic when I was younger, and they're talking about Elvis, and they say that he died because he pushed too hard on the golden throne.
But also, yeah, Anne is painted as a red herring, but she's not the only one, because, you know, we mentioned, obviously, we've already seen the killer in a mask, but we've seen that he's wearing an all light grey sweatsuit, and black gloves. What?
Just think about Beavis and Butthead. Do you like Beavis and Butthead?
I haven't seen that much, but anyway, so grey and black gloves and all of this. And did you notice that as Anne is unpacking when she first gets to the parents' home, she opens her little suitcase thing, and the first thing that she takes out is a pair of black gloves and the sweater of this light grey hoodie. So she's definitely been like, yeah.
But it's no reason. It's not like in the writing they've made these people seem. They just put them in particular situations where it's like, oh, look, they're trying to paint her as a red herring. As in, oh, look, she's got items.
Yeah. So she's got that. Obviously, the coach...
It's not like everyone wearing the same boots and Scream or something like that, is it? Anyway, football player's now going through the woods. He's going for a jog. He's a student football player. And he comes across the 2 bad girls. And they take his football from him.
Yeah.
You know, because they're bullying him. But then he just picks one of them up. She throws his ball into the woods. And as he's looking for it, the killer's got it. And he's also got his, what did you call it, an épée?
It's a sword.
a sword, a fencing sword. And
Not a fencing sword, a proper sword.
He gets the football, the American football, and he puts it on the end of his sword. And then when,
Yeah, like a ball kebab.
when the football player walks in and comes across him, the killer goes long, and he throws it through his stomach, and he's like, for quite a long time.
Yeah,
he
that
really
was
milked his death. I enjoyed that.
a little more interesting, at least.
Yeah.
The addition of chucking it with the ball attached.
Now
Because so far the deaths have been quite
Now it's almost
regular.
like it's like a segue or a palate cleanser. Because we now have sing-song time. The students are in the canteen. There's this really cool guy
dear
playing his
God,
guitar.
what was this?
Graduation Day Blues. And the women are going wild for it.
Everyone's so into
The
it.
women-
But what I found the weirdest was Kevin, Laura's boyfriend,
He's on the harmonica.
playing his harmonica, and he was seriously grooving with this song. He was loving it. It's like he was part of Guns N' Roses up in a huge arena.
This
just
didn't remind me of
yeah.
Guns N' Roses, but...
Well, no, but in terms of what he thought the audience was.
Well, that's how you rock the party. You've got to start off as you mean to go on. So if he's going to hit the big stages on the harmonica, then you've got to show what you've got in the school canteen as
But
well.
is he a photographer? Is that what he wants to do? Because
I have no idea what he
when
wants to
Anne
do.
first goes
I
to
thought he just
visit
wanted to play
him,
harmonica.
you didn't mention the fact that the first thing she sees before Kevin actually comes and finds her is like an album where he's photographed where he's photographed
Yes.
Laura
Yes.
throughout the race.
Yeah.
No, the crossing out is a completely
There's a
separate
lot of
thing.
I'm just saying there's a lot of photographs going around of students with their faces crossed out after each one of them dies. And oh, by the way, Officer McGregor, he bumps into Coach George Michaels outside. It's on. So I wonder where that's going.
So nobody likes George Michaels.
Well, McGregor doesn't, probably because he's like, and George Michaels is a bit more straight than that.
Maybe.
Yeah. George Michael wasn't straight. Anyway, now it's a roller disco.
Yeah.
Roller disco, but with a kind of like new wave rock band singing
Yeah.
like the Gangster Walk or something like this. And during this,
Gangster rock or something.
during this, there are a couple of students and they're walking away from the stage, and the girl grabs this guy's hand and just goes,
Oh yeah.
bites into it, and he's like. And then they go outside and they start making
Well, that's
out
what I
on
do,
the floor.
right? I just randomly bite.
Well, when they start making out on the floor, she gets really jealous of him because he just decides to take a leak because the world's his toilet. It's like Gua said, this toilet earth.
It's T-Girl, isn't it? It's the one who seduced Mr. Roberts.
I just thought it
And
was
the
just,
boy she was
just some
smoking
random.
pot
So you're
with.
saying this is Dolores?
Yeah.
Right. She's with a new guy now.
Oh, is it a new guy? Okay.
I was just
well.
assuming so, yeah.
Either way, it's Dolores and a dude. Yeah. Dude, off having his whiz, gets offed. Was that an exciting way, or was it just, again, slicing the throat or something? You haven't written, so I'm guessing
He's
boring.
decapitated.
Oh,
gets
right, you
decapitated,
are.
yeah.
He does, because then his head gets chucked at Dolores
Yeah.
eventually, doesn't it?
Yeah, after that, like the fencer starts chasing Dolores, and the
Yeah.
fencer ends up getting to her. And he gets above her and like, does this like swing. He swings his AP.
Slash.
I'm not sure that's going to work because it's so thin.
Slashing. But
Or
we
does-
see all the
actually,
blood
does he have a
spurting,
sword at
don't
this
we?
point?
So that's what I said, a sword.
Yeah, so he's got rid of his fencing gear.
No, but it was a sword from the start.
Just kept the mask.
It's a sword.
Yeah, then he gets his stopwatch out again. Yeah, now Guglielmi, he's on the phone to Blondie, his secretary, and he's blowing it. He's just talking himself out of any action.
Well, he doesn't seem to have to work very hard. I mean, he's given her work to do all the time, even though it's a day before graduation, so apparently everyone's super busy. I don't know why they waited till the last minute to
Mr.
do all the
Roberts is
work,
busy coming
but-
on to another student outside. He's like, hey, you should come and watch you
Yes.
perform sometime. And she's well into it. All the girl students love Mr. Roberts.
Idiots.
He's a heartthrob.
Yeah, they're like, oh my god, he's going to be on tour all summer. Can you believe it?
Yeah, now enter
Wonder where he's touring.
Inspector Halliday. And he's questioning Guglielmi about the missing students. And he also mentions that he hates being at school. So already the part in him is a red herring just because he hates being at school. And they then just cut to like a pole vault student is practicing on the track.
This was the best one, I thought.
This was the best one, yeah.
Oh, okay, I'll take it. So yeah, he's getting all ready. He does his run up. Pole slides into that little triangle ditch thing. He flies over, and then we hear ah. And next thing we see is him laying on the crash mat, but someone has planted a ton of metal spikes in the crash mat, and he's just got like one out his thigh, a few out his body.
Yeah.
He's dead.
You should have checked the mat before going pole vaulting.
I don't think one generally suspects that someone would have planted a bunch of metal spikes in it, but
oh well.
Maybe that's a good thing to say.
Now that Halliday's questioned Guglielmi, it's time to question Coach George Michaels, and George Michaels lets him know he's been shit-canned, and that's all Halliday has to hear before he's like, okay, that's it, you've been shit-canned. And then we see George Michaels open his drawer, and he's got stuff, he's got a stopwatch or whatever in there, hasn't he?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And gloves. Time for the two naughty girls again, your favourite, right, with the unmixed voices. And they find blood on a locker, and a dead body falls out. Now
it's
the dead body,
gymnast.
it's a gymnast. So that answers my question then, because I was thinking to myself, right, I haven't written anywhere Mr. Roberts, the music teacher, dying. So he just gets to spend the whole movie, sucking on his students' tits and asking the rest of them out, making all the girls excited, and he gets no comeuppance whatsoever.
No, because clearly everyone who's being offed in this movie is part of the track team. And that's what this photo you mentioned with the crossing out. Someone keeps pulling out of their locker last year's photo of the track team, I think, and with lipstick crossing off one face of another. So Mr. Roberts isn't part of the track team.
Why even have Mr. Roberts go down to the basement hearing his tape of himself?
I don't know.
This is what I'm asking. Because I was sure, maybe I've missed who was dead in the locker. It must be Mr. Roberts, because no way he's getting away with this behaviour in a horror movie.
Yeah, he is.
Well, that's the last we see of him. The last we see of him is him talking to the girl on the wall, inviting her to his performance.
No, Mr. Roberts is fine. He's gone off on tour. No, it's the gymnast girl, the first one who was shaving her legs when she was done, that she was then stuffed in the locker. And up to this point, nobody's actually been aware that these kids who are missing have been offed. They
just think like you say, just think they're missing or whatever, ruining picture day. Yeah. So after the bad girls come across this, Kevin walks in, the bad girls run away, then Anne from Guam, Inspector Halliday and McGregor, they all rush in, they find Kevin, he's been beaten up, and Mr. Michaels, George Michaels, has run off.
So Coach beat Kevin up, because Kevin thinks that George Michaels did it.
As Michaels is running away, Kevin gives chase, where they end up, of course, the woods.
Yeah.
And in the woods, it reveals when they're like talking to each other that Kevin is the killer, he admits everything, admits it all.
Was this really obvious to you right from the start? Because
no.
As soon as, literally in the very intro thing, when he's hugging Laura's dead body, he's he's going to be the killer.
He blames George Michaels for the death of Laura, saying he pushed her too hard.
Whole team.
Yeah, and then Halliday comes and he blows away George Michaels.
I know, poor George Michaels.
Yeah, just
he was a bit of a harsh coach,
anything.
but he was,
And we've got Anne comforting Kevin at this point now. She's comforting the killer of her dead sister. And then she goes back to Kevin's. Mm-hmm. And she sees the grandma in the chair again. Goes upstairs. And when she goes up there, a bit of a psycho moment, she finds her dead sister in a rocking chair.
Yeah. So Kevin said that, as planned, he and Laura are still going to get married today after graduation.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're dead.
And Anne, don't you want to give your sister a kiss? And Anne is obviously kind of disgusted because we've got a decomposing corpse of her sister.
Yeah. Kevin's there being crazy.
Yeah, Kevin says, you don't love her either. I've got to punish you now.
Yeah, but they end up he ends up slicing at her. And she kind of falls down. And as she falls down, she knocks the rocking chair and her sister into Kevin, who then they both fall out the window. But he's not dead, because when she goes downstairs, he walks back in carrying her. She just hides against the door.
Yeah. Runs out. And then when Kevin next comes upon her, where?
At the bleachers.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not the woods this time.
Oh,
yeah. Damn. And runs away.
At the bleachers, Anne is pulling out her marine skills.
Exactly, yeah. She's pulling out her naval skills. They run kind of under the bleachers and into some kind of abandoned place, and the pole vault guy, he's been stuck into a door, and the door opens, we see him hanging there, and Kevin makes his last ditch attempt to get Anne, and instead she kind of disarms him with her naval skill, then just gently nudges him into the spikes.
Yeah.
That was not convincing.
Oh.
No. So he's dead after being gently nudged onto the spikes.
Taste of his own medicine, one might say.
End of the movie, Anne's in bed back at home, and all of a sudden there's an intruder in her room, and in the dark it is Kevin with a knife, but she turns the light on, and don't worry, it's just her abusive stepfather with a bottle of vodka.
Yeah, no worries, he's just off his tits after drinking a bottle of vodka.
Yeah, her mum comes and gets him. Then
I really wondered
she
at
gets in a
this
taxi
point.
and drives off.
That's it. Yeah, I really wondered at that point. I was like, okay, so clearly the stepdad has been painted to be an absolutely awful man.
Yeah.
So is he also going to get some comeuppance? Like, is Anne going to put him in his place?
Well, where was the whole thing going again? You know, he's threatened to beat her up.
Nothing happens.
It was all about Skrilla.
It was,
and he's an alcoholic, like you said.
But I still enjoyed it. It was pointless, though. But yeah.
I felt like there was just too much of nothing happening a lot of the time in this film. Yeah. I was expecting a lot more from Graduation Day. Didn't get it. So let's move on to number 2 pick of the week from 1984. Splatter University, also from Trauma.
Yes.
Yeah. Opens in a nut house.
Yeah.
Psych ward.
The depiction here of their mental patients is so ridiculous.
Kind of
the one guy with the doll head is my favourite. Yeah, he's just got a doll's head and he's just poking it in the eyes, and then at one point he pokes himself in the eyes and goes, "Whoa!" and then starts.
Well, it's because they're crazy. So they're poking dolls' eyes, and they might even put their own eyes out.
But clearly, we find out from the dialogue, someone is missing, one of the patients.
A psychiatric patient is missing, and an orderly kind of like goes around half-assedly looking for him.
Yeah.
Opens a cupboard door, and he's like, "Oh, there you are!" And he gets his dick stabbed.
Yeah, you just see the knife, and it goes straight to the crotch.
We've seen a lot of dick stabbing recently.
I approve.
Santa's cock, off that goes.
Yeah.
Dick stabbing this.
So we started the year.
There's some dick decimation in Heathen as well.
With some penile violence.
Yeah. And not only is he stabbing people in the dick, but it then says 3 years ago. So I'm not sure. Are we supposed to be in the future now, and then we're going 3 years?
No. So
back?
this dick stabbing happened 3 years ago. And now we're.
But the thing is.
But what happened in those 3 years? I was wondering that even at the time.
I do believe, right, that when we're in the psych ward, and if it finishes the psych ward scene, then we go to a classroom and it says 3 years ago.
No.
And it might. That's what I've got anyway. Anyway, the classroom teacher is like after school. She ends up getting stabbed in the tits. So his instance like, here's a dick stab, here's a tit stab, and she dies.
Well, yeah.
So we've already been in the psych ward in year, I don't know. Then we're 3 years ago in the classroom. Now it's next semester yesterday.
Yeah, what does that mean? That was genuinely like, what? What are you talking about?
It's next semester
I still
yesterday
don't know what they mean.
At St. Trinian's College. And who's there? Johnny Boy's there. Wolf is there. Oh, woo, woo, woo!
There were some really annoying characters.
Wolf! So, when we're introduced to Johnny Boy and Wolf, we go back and we're into the school, because it's next semester yesterday. And we've got our main character, Mrs. Parker. She's walking the halls and she's looking for Mr. Jensen, who's going to interview her for a position at the school.
Yeah.
But as she's walking the halls, she asks someone for direction.
One of the other teachers.
A teacher called Mark, and he gives her directions. And as she walks off, the camera goes from her feet all the way up her body, comes up to Mark, and he's like, So Mark likes he likes the look of the new teacher.
Dear God, yeah. There are some really, really, let's call them 80s moments in this film. One of my favourites comes later, so I won't give it away yet. But yeah, she finally makes it to Mr. Jensen's office, and it turns out this must be some like religious school, right? Because he's a priest, and there's a couple of the other teachers are priests.
Yeah. All the priests are liars and pervs.
And she gets somewhat interviewed, but not really, because it seems that he's interviewed a lot of people, and upon hearing what happened to the previous teacher, because it's introduction to philosophy or sociology.
What happens is when she's
murdered was
being interviewed, they run all the way through it, and it turns out, by the way, she's graduated cum laude. I've heard that a load of times in American movies. I'm like, what does graduating cum laude mean?
Don't know.
But she graduated cum laude, so that's got to mean something. He also says that she's transferred 3 times, which puts a bit of a suspicion on her.
Yeah.
Like, why is she transferred 3 times before getting here? And yeah, so he's like, welcome to the staff.
Right.
But then he says, oh, you haven't heard the stories, have you? Because the other applicants pulled out at the last minute after hearing that the students believe there's a curse on the classroom you're going to be teaching in, because that's where the booby stab lady was offed. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But she ain't got time to turn down jobs. You know? So she has a knock at her door. She's got an apartment as well. And it's the first of many interactions with Mrs. Bloom.
Her landlady.
Yeah. And she's well into, like, murders and stuff.
She loves it.
She does love it.
She's clearly one of those, you know, slightly older people who's just pottering about doing the gardening and then trying to pick up as much...
I saw pictures of the death in the paper. Blood everywhere.
Gossip as possible, yeah. She loves
but
it.
I don't like to talk about it. That's what she says
but
after everything.
Tell me all the details.
And then she tells a story of, so-and-so, she just poisoned her husband with some arsenic. Much nicer ways to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's a bit crazy. Now we're back with Wolf and the boys, Johnny and Wolf. Someone's bought the beers. Wolf was like, oh, woo, woo, woo. They're talking about a guy called Tom Schiavelli. And the reason Tom Schiavelli's brought up, because they brought up a girl who they all like to bone. And then some guy is like harsh and moans like, no, Tom Schiavelli's doing her. And then Wolf mentions, he's like, oh no, I did her before Tom Schiavelli.
So everyone's had a go.
And then Wolf's girlfriend gets mad at him for having had a go on Tom Schiavelli's girl. Yeah. And because she gets mad at him, of course, Wolf is like, chicks on the rag.
Oh, he loves saying that, doesn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, because then this chick called Kath with short hair, she shows up. And they all get in the car to leave. And Kath kind of walks away sad. And Wolf comes to the conclusion, that chick is definitely on the rag. So I love Wolf. Oh, woo woo!
Now, is Johnny Boy the one who's got a girlfriend and also is seeing the redhead?
I've also got to mention, just before you make that point, that Kath, the one with the short hair, has walked away. Mm-hmm. Turns out she's missed a period.
Yeah.
Right, she thinks she might be pregnant or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's important for later.
Right, I didn't think we found that out till later, but yes. And she confides in the new teacher. What's our main woman called again?
Miss Parker.
Miss Parker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the new teacher. This is the only student who's friendly to her, and yeah, she goes to her for advice and is like, well...
Goes for advice many a time, yeah. But now we cut from this gang, you know, Wolf's gang. There are a lot of people in this. It was like really hard to keep up with who's who. But I've got Wolf and Johnny Boy down for reasons, obviously, woo-woo. Johnny Boy hasn't come yet. Now we've got Tom Schiavelli's crew. And they're smoking on the stairwell in school. And Tom Schiavelli is the man because he's there. He's talking about a party tonight. And I believe a woman called Marie, Tom Schiavelli says, hey, Marie, you're being a real pain in my ass because she's not going to come to the party. So I thought, oh, Tom Schiavelli's girl is Marie. Okay? Just keep that in mind, right? Okay. Tom Schiavelli's girl is Marie. Yeah, then there's a part where there's this other priest, not priest Jensen.
No, one of the other teachers.
And he's walking through the corridor with Miss Parker, and he's like asking her out to dinner.
Yes, and this same teacher is the one that the other 80s moment. It doesn't matter to the story, so I'll just say it now. But some student has come to his office, and we see like a shot of her legs, and then we go to him, and he's like, and then it goes to her like chest area, and he's like.
Well, he probably hasn't had it for a long time because he's supposed to be a priest. They don't do it, right?
Well, he's been asking this other woman out there, hasn't he?
Miss Parker's now taking her first class, Intro to Sociology. She's trying to be relatable to the students, but they're not really having it. And then this Tash man, he comes to observe her class and makes her a bit nervous. And she's basically asking the class, just tell me something that you believe strongly in. Just give me any topic. And one of them goes, hey, how about the right to abortion? Obviously, this is a religious school. So Tashman priest is not very happy about this. So Anne gets called to Jensen's office. He's like, do not go off book. There'll be no extracurricular teaching. It really reads to the Riot Act. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because she's let her students speak freely.
Yeah, God forbid you actually discuss things.
It's then we notice that Father Jensen, he has a muscle spasm.
Yeah. Well, supposedly. So what we haven't mentioned is that Father Jensen's in a wheelchair. So you would assume, it seems that he's like paralysed bottom half or something, but his leg is going.
Yeah. Miss Parker, she's now in the canteen talking with said colleague we mentioned earlier. But it's disgusting because there's a fingernail in the pie that they're eating.
Also, Miss Parker just happens to have her best friend also working at this school.
Yeah. Maybe that's how she
That's really
got
lucky.
in. But anyway, just mentioned, right, Tom Scavelli.
Yeah.
He was on the stairwell with Marie.
Right.
That's what I rewound it up 3 times. He's definitely saying Marie.
Okay.
Because now Tom Scavelli is at home and he's making out of a redhead called Denise. Right? Denise the slut, the one that was talking to the priest and turning him on. Right?
Wait, so Tom Scavelli is the slightly chunky one
Yeah,
who's got
he's the
multiple
man.
girls. Okay.
Yeah. Tom Scavelli's making out of redhead Denise.
I'm with
And
you
she's
now.
a right tease because they're about to get down to it and she keeps going, no, Tom Scavelli. What if your girlfriend comes home? So I'm thinking, oh, Marie's going to come home. But then his girlfriend does come home and he's like, Doreen, what are you doing here? So we had Marie, Denise, and now Doreen's home. She's like, why weren't you in class? And he
I
just
feel like you're confusing me now, but yes, I'm with you at this moment.
he gives some reason as to why it wasn't class. So then Doreen walks in, sits on the other side of Tom Scavelli. Denise is there, and he's got the big idea. He's like, hey, how about I please both you ladies? Because Tom Scavelli's got a reputation because he's just boning everyone.
How he's boning anyone is beyond me.
Might as well try it. But before they can get down to it, before he can put his plan in place, some guy in like a pair of tights over his face comes to the window,
What an idiot.
opens a window with like a knife or something, and he's like, "Arr, it's party time!" And then the whole gang just come through the window and pile onto the sofa on Tom Scavelli and Denise and everyone else. Because
Why
they're
does
wild.
This always happen.
Then they open beer and like pouring
It's
it on
so
their face.
Stupid. Why is there always someone like trying to freak out their mates in way over the top ways? Like jumping out from behind a corner, whatever, fine, we've all done that. But putting tights over your face, crawling in the window with a knife, I feel like that takes a lot of effort.
Tom Scavelli reminds you of he's going to be a frat guy if he's not already, so he's probably loved this kind of stuff.
I'm sure he does.
Yeah. Also, Parker, one of her colleagues, like they're walking through the corridor, just a very short scene, and as Parker's going to go into her classroom, the colleague goes to the room next, knocks on the door, and the pervy priest opens, invites her in, and he's like, because he doesn't want Miss Parker to know that he's probably going to be doing stuff with her.
Right. And
What is this school?
it's weird.
What's it?
Has she already gone out on a date with the Mark? It is Mark, right? The other teacher.
No, she hasn't yet. I'll let you know when all this happens. 'Cause
Okay.
Mark's got a whole thing. Yeah, Mark is the guy everyone reminds you who was like,
Right, when he first
when he
saw
first
her.
saw her. So now the next scene, right, is a bit of jukebox dancing. Tom Scavelli's crew is there. Yeah,
We even get one of the background artists who's credited as dancing guy. He's always just like there.
Yeah.
It was very distracting.
he was. So he's a scene stealer.
Yeah.
And I've got to give credit to the director, Richard W. Haynes of Splatter University, because when the girls and the guys are dancing around a jukebox, obviously he's just focusing on the girls, and he shoots close-ups of ass, hips, and tits, and makes it all just so unsexy.
Oh, it's so silly. It is so silly. Also, I don't think there's, like, to my taste at least, there's no one sexy in this. The best looking people in this movie
Tom
are the
Scavelli's got 3
staff.
women on the go. Wolf's been banging her as well. Right? So now, Doreen, not Marie or Denise, Doreen is going to be Tom Scavelli's date tonight. He's sitting at the bar with Doreen and all his other mates. But now, Tom Scavelli, again, is being let down. He's like, Doreen, why aren't you coming out? No one seems wants to come out with him.
Shocking.
They're all going out with him, but they don't want to come out with him. And then one of his friends says, "Hey Tom, I'll come out with you if you." I was like, that's a bit weird. But that's a whole frat thing again. As I'm saying, Tom Scavelli loves it when people like threaten him with violence and blowjobs.
Threaten him with blue.
Yeah. So Doreen leaves because she doesn't want to go out with Tom Scavelli. She gets in the car. She ends up getting her forehead slashed, and that's enough to kill her.
Yeah, it was like she was being scalped, though, I thought.
Yeah, but we don't really see very much, do we?
No.
We just see like a really pathetic thin line of blood go across her forehead. And that's kind of the end of
You're
it.
supposed to use your imagination,
Then
Johnny.
like Tom Scavelli's crew are leaving, and as they're leaving, one of the idiots who's supposed to get a takeout of like a 6-pack from the bar, he's accidentally bought ginger ale or root beer. So as they're passing, they find out that it is ginger ale, chuck it into a dumpster, but it turns out it's Doreen dumpster because Doreen's in there dead.
Dark.
Yeah. Now there's another knock at Miss Parker's classroom door. And who is it? It's little man Mark, the guy. And he's there asking her to dinner. She says yes. They go to the restaurant. He spills all the beans about what she wants to know about these murders.
Right.
Right, he tells her about the murdered. And, but...
Oh, and he says he didn't know her. The
So he
murdered
doesn't know
woman.
her. And she decides at the end of this date that she's not going to put out just yet.
Is that what she decides?
She's not going to put out, yeah.
I don't recall that, but again, I'll have to trust you on that.
After this date, Miss Parker then bumps into Miss Bloom again. And they're talking about mail. And Miss Bloom mentions that ever since her husband died, all she ever gets is junk mail from the cemetery. I did like that.
Did you?
Yeah. You don't seem to have like, gauged the...
I didn't like this one as much. Obviously, it was my third place. And I found it a bit forgettable.
All right. So we're in class again. Now Miss Parker, she's moaning about stuff again to that colleague. And the colleague says to her, hey, are you seeing Mark? And Miss Roberts is like, well,
yeah.
Kind of. Sort of. Why? And her colleague just gives her a weird look. And that's kind of
I find that so annoying when people do that. If you've got something to say, then say it. Don't just be like, what does that mean?
While they've had this conversation,
What does that mean?
Miss Parker and a colleague, camera then pans, and it's Mr. Jensen just peeping at him.
What pervert?
For a curtain, yeah, he's peeping.
Well,
he's a peepee priest.
Okay. Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
Mark's now having his second go, right? Mark gets Parker on the wine. And we're at his apartment. Now, there is nothing in there. There's absolutely nothing. But he has a bar. And not only does he have a bar, it has like a counter with one of those doors. I call it a trap door. So he gets behind the trap door. He's like, hey, what can I get you?
I found it weird that he closed it behind him as well.
Yeah, no, because it's official.
Don't get in.
I pour the drinks, you drink them. So he's got a bar, but he hasn't got a sofa or anything like that. It's just barren. It's absolutely barren apart from this. So maybe that's his game. Like, I'm just going to have my apartment filled with booze.
Mark's a weirdo, isn't he? So, we're supposed to suspect him because her friend pulled a face when she said she was dating him.
Yeah. Like I say, he's got this entire apartment just stocked with a bar. Still no luck, though, with Miss Parker. She's not easy to get. So now, Johnny, remember I mentioned Johnny? We've had Wolf, I've mentioned Johnny. Mm-hmm. We're going to a drive-through. Not a drive-through, a drive-in theatre.
Oh, this is Johnny.
Drive-in theatre, and Johnny pulls up in his car. He's about to buy a ticket, and all of a sudden his date just comes off of his lap and is like, makes some kind of mention about sucking stuff.
Oh, right. Okay, so Johnny... Okay, no. So who's in the car behind then? The main couple we focus on in the drive.
Right, yeah. So after that like little sucky bit, there's there's
so
another
random.
couple, and the girl is Kathy.
This is the girl who's
missed her period. Right, and she's got a date. They drive in to the drive-in theatre, and the guy and her are kind of getting off with each other, but she's not into it.
Yeah.
And then he gets off her and says, "What, are you on your period or something?"
Another period joke. I mean, these guys. All the guys in this were really annoying.
Someone then shines a torch.
But she's obviously there because she wants to tell him that she might be pregnant with his child, and he just wants to get...
She doesn't try
down
that
to
hard,
business.
because once he says, what's the matter on your period, he then just throws himself on her and she just kind of lets him. Then someone shines a light in their car. So of course he gets out the car to go and inspect what it is. Ends up in the woods.
He's not a fan of dogging.
Kathy decides not to stay put. She goes into the woods and she ends up getting got. She has her throat sliced and she's dragged away. We're like, what's she being dragged away for? Her date ends up getting back to the car. He gets into the back seat. Kathy's in the front. And you know what? She might have missed a period, but she's still bloody.
Yeah, and we can see from the way it's shot that she's there deceased. But he cannot see because he's in the back seat and she's like hidden kind of in the front. And he's like, "What, are you still mad at me? God.
You on your period?
God. Did you watch the movie?"
Don't even know this guy's name. He's just, "Are you on your period?" guy. Yeah. Parker and Bloom 3 now. They're meeting up again, and she's heard about these murders in the drive-thru again. And she blames the movies. Do you blame the movies?
I do not blame the movies.
No, I don't blame the movies, but Miss Bloom does. Yeah. Now, once again, we're kind of introduced to Wolf and his crew again. And it hit me at this point. They kind of look like rejects from Grease 2.
100% I was getting Grease vibes. And I was like,
Grease 2.
It's supposed to be set... in like the 60s or something, 50s.
This?
No, Grease.
Oh, Grease, yeah, 50s, I think.
And
well, you're the Uber fan.
So these like slicks and I'm not these slicks and stuff. And
we've
got
both
80s.
soundtracks on vinyl at your request. So how are you not a big fan?
They were like 50p each, so I think it was worth it. Yeah, these guys, they've got, like, the whole attitude that it just makes me want to, like,
Wolf.
slap them.
Oh, woo, woo, woo. While we introduces Grease 2 Redux
Not
again,
cool.
we cut to another scene, and it's Jensen and Parker, Miss Parker. They're talking outside. And as
Right.
we're having this conversation, obviously Parker's in his wheelchair. Oh, sorry,
Jensen.
Jensen's in his wheelchair and
Yeah.
Parker's standing up. But when the camera's on Jensen, he's just sitting there and he's just reciting his lines, blah, blah, blah. And then it cuts to Miss Parker and he's like, the wind's blowing her hair about. It's like storm's coming and she's like, ah. And then it goes back to Mr. Jensen. He's just like calm. She goes back to her.
Maybe it's supposed to be
not
symbolic.
shot on the same day. It's just not shot on the same day. That's all. Yeah, it was a windy day for her scenes. Yeah, and now it gets a bit weird because the ginger Denise, who was getting off as Tom Scavelli on the couch, she now goes to the perv priest, lets him know that she gave it up to Tom Scavelli last night, and he starts getting really excited about it.
This is the bit where he's looking at the legs and the chest and being, like, uber hermy. Really weird.
And she says, if I come back to Nan and talk to you about it, would it make me feel better? And he's like, I'll see you in my office tonight. So how many people is he banging? He's banging one of the teachers. Now he's banging one of the students.
This girl needs to get some standards. The two guys that she's apparently giving it up to are both just no.
Well, Denise is the slut character. It's 1984.
But
One
also,
of the
that didn't
tropes.
go anywhere either, did it? Why has she just gone and hit on one of the teachers and told him that she's sleeping with some other dude?
Well,
and then she tells the dude that she told the teacher.
Yeah, she tells Tom Scavelli over the phone that she's
It's very
let the priest
confusing.
know. Well, she's letting Tom Scavelli know that, you can get all these women, but I can get all these men. So if you want to be a one-woman man, this is what it's going to take, all right? You've got to give it up. So now Mark, little man Mark, and Miss Parker...
Why do you call him Little Man Mark?
he's smaller than Miss Robert. Miss Roberts, Miss Parker, he's smaller than Miss Parker. And they're on the bleachers discussing the murders, right?
Yeah.
And they're tossing murders. But what's he really there for? He just wants to ask her out again. But she turns him down yet again. He's like, let's go back to my apartment tonight or whatever, instead of dinner. And she's like, no, I'm not really feeling that. So he's putting in all his effort. He's like plying her with alcohol.
Well, she is...
The whole shebang.
she's just started a job where everyone's being offed, so I guess she is a bit, like, on edge. Have we gotten to the point yet as well where her friend/colleague...
Now we're at the point where her colleague Sydney tells Miss
Yeah.
Parker that Mark knew the murdered woman.
That's exactly what I was about to bring up.
Yeah.
So
And-
we know for a fact that he's lied to Miss Parker's face.
And it makes me think, actually, maybe I got it wrong. So when we're at the beginning,
Yeah.
and it's psychiatric ward, right? And then we go 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. I think I actually said 3 months ago.
No, it was definitely years.
Are you
'cause
sure?
in my head, I was like,
Because then this makes no sense. Because what I was going to say is, at this point, when they're sitting on the bleachers and she's turned him down again, and then her colleague Sydney lets her know that he did in fact know her and he went out with her.
yeah.
I've written down it's only been 3 months. He's been, since she's been murdered, and he's already trying to pursue Miss Parker. She's
I
been
don't think
stabbed in the tit for
it's-
Pete's sake.
It's not even that. So I think what they were saying was someone escaped from the mental asylum 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Then during, let's call it semester 1, the teacher was stabbed in the tits. And now it's the new semester and Miss Parker's been hired.
No,
so he hasn't even waited long enough for that.
It's next semester yesterday. So when we're into,
Okay, so it's next-
when
but
we're into
either
other
way,
days,
my
are we
point
into the day
stands.
behind because we started off on yesterday?
So it's been a maximum a matter of months since Mark's ex passed.
Now there's a learning moment next for Wolf. He learns about leprosy and is it contagious? Oh woo woo! Remember that? Recall that?
I do not recall that, and I don't think it really matters. But
Anne is now snooping, I believe, at Mark's apartment, right?
yeah. So after her friend has said, "Oh look, he was going out with her," and now obviously Miss Parker knows that he was lying to her.
Mm-hmm.
She starts to suspect that maybe it is Mark.
Could be Mark, yeah.
And she's like, the only way I'll know is by looking at his apartment, which is I don't really see how that would clear anything up.
How does she get in? How does she gain access to his apartment?
She like steals a key from him
Must have missed
without
that.
him noticing. Her friend and she drive to the apartment whilst he's still at school. She lets herself in whilst her friend stays outside in the car, and she forces her way into like a desk hubby kind of thing and finds all this evidence, like newspaper clippings and stuff about all the murders, which is obviously quite suspicious. And wouldn't you know it, Mark's decided to have a quick lunch at home. So her friend Scarpa's in the car. Mark parks there instead. Luckily, Mrs. Parker sees him, and she does manage to get out, but she can't clear up the evidence that she's been there. The desk and all that is still open, so yeah.
And Mark sees him drive away out the window.
Yeah, that was so stupid. I was like, you can see how easy it is to spot that position from the window, so why are we like, oh, let's do it all there so that he can definitely see us?
You didn't mention that before she gets into the apartment, she's perved on by a neighbour who's like adamant that he wants to take her picture.
Okay.
Hey, let me photograph.
I didn't even
She's
see
like,
that
no.
so much as perving, but okay. I thought
She
it was
feels
more
perved
like,
upon.
oh, don't take a picture because then maybe Mark will find out I was here.
If he wasn't a perv, then why did he smile like this?
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, after that,
We have different perv senses.
Parker is now
clearly.
talking to her colleague again, and not only do they suspect Mark, they also suspect Jensen. So Parker and the students are now in
Do they?
yeah, Parker and the students are now in the hallways of the school, and they open up like a closet door, and a dead body comes out. A student comes out, and that's when Miss Parker starts to freak out.
Uh-oh.
She's about to leave the school, but she goes to the bleachers, and luckily Mr. Jensen manages to talk her into staying and brings up her relationship with Mark. As like,
Okay.
oh, you're seeing Mark now, so you might as well stay here. Now it's time for the Grease 2 rejects again, right? And they're bringing up some girl, and Wolf was like, huh, I was gonna fuck her. Oh, woo, woo! Then there's a woman pissing on the toilet. She gets stabbed, and a fountain of blood comes out of her mouth.
Just a woman.
Yeah, just I don't know who it is. It might be Sydney. Oh, actually, I think it's the woman that goes to the perv priest's door.
Okay.
Yeah, she gets done in on the toilet.
Right.
That's what she deserves.
Because there is actually rhyme and reason to the offings in this. It isn't just random.
Parker and Bloom 4 now. Because Miss Parker's going to leave, Miss Bloom's adamant that she will give her her discount because she doesn't want to get a bad rep.
Her discount?
Yeah, because she's leaving early. She's going to give her some money back. That's how good of a landlord she is.
Right. Okay, yeah.
Now we're back to Redhead Denise, the one who's been coming on, the one who's been coming on to the priest. And it's at this point that she calls Tom Schiavelli and tells him about the perv father and how she told him all about their sex together. And ends up, because Denise got a big mouth, she gets stabbed in the mouth. So that's the end of her. Don't put it about. Mark is now trying to talk to Miss Parker on the phone, but she's not having it. She hangs up on him. And Parker gets on the phone and pleads to go and see Mr. Jensen.
Yeah, because
So
she
she
knows
goes.
who the murderer is.
Yeah.
It's Mark. And apparently,
But
instead
hang
of
on.
telling police, she wants to tell Mr. Jensen.
When Mr. Jensen finds out that she's on her way, he's like, this is the perfect time. So he leaves his office, wheels himself to a dumpster, and gets rid of all his porno magazines.
Yeah, what was
Then
that?
looks both ways and wheels off.
What was
I
that?
don't know. Now's the perfect time for him to get rid of them.
And also the fact that... No, I'll get there in a second, actually. Yeah, okay. So porno magazines. Right, so, yeah, Mrs. Parker has managed to convince him to stay late. She's gone to go and tell him
No,
that
but
Mark is...
before this, Mark shows up at her apartment, right?
Right.
Before she can leave to see Jensen, Mark walks in and he says, you think you know something, but you're wrong. So she attacks him and leaves. And I was thinking, this is on Mark, because if you're trying to tell her that, you know, you got it wrong, I'm not the killer, why would you walk in and say, you think you know something, but
menacing
you're
way.
wrong? Yeah. Of course she's going to attack him.
Well, so her friend's been off by now as well, hasn't she? Since they went to his apartment and before she goes to see Mr. Jensen, her friend has also been offed, her best friend / colleague.
Right, yeah.
So now she's at Mr. Jensen's.
Gets to the school and he's stroking a crucifix. He's been stroking a crucifix.
Caressing it.
Yeah.
Because it's actually a weapon.
And when she finds it,
Ba-ba-ba.
he stands up. All of a sudden he's out of his wheelchair. He's been faking it. And she kicks him in the nuts or punches him in the nuts. And the next thing you know, he's walking out into the corridor and he's still like... I mean, I'm just in a good nut shot.
Yeah.
That she's done there.
Excellent.
Makes him squirm.
But
Mark's
also-
here to save the day, or not.
This is going back, though, what I was just about to say with the porn magazines. First of all, why is he doing it right then and all of that? But also, no one's around. Why is he wheeling himself around when he can clearly walk and it's all just a fake act?
Well, because he doesn't want to be caught walking around. His whole roost is up, isn't it? It's obvious why he's not walking. He's not just walking around. What if someone comes around the corner? Anyway, Mark is here to save the day, or not, because Jensen just ends up killing Miss Parker. She's dead.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, so that was a good thing. And then Mark ends up going to Jensen's office. Jensen's got himself back into the wheelchair, but then Mark sees the bloody crucifix behind him, and then kind of like we then are in the psych ward again, and we see Father Jensen again, like Norman Bates. He's sitting there kind of like talking to himself, and there are two orderlies talking about who he is, and he's a guy that, you know, he's been impersonating a priest for the past 2 years in this place and
3 years,
killing people.
apparently.
So he must have been the escaped patient.
Yeah.
Right. But then what's strange is, well, you say what you're going to say.
Yeah, so the reason he was offing everyone who got off, did you notice, was having some kind of sexual liaison or was in any way sinful. So he's taken his role as a priest really seriously. That's one thing. The thing now that I was questioning when it said 3 years ago.
Yeah.
If that is correct, I'm pretty sure that's what I got. But anyway,
Next semester yesterday.
the first death that we saw was the teacher last semester. Now it's this semester.
No, it was the
yesterday.
the dick stabbing.
Well, that was still in the psych ward though. But I'm talking about since he escaped.
Mm-hmm.
So if he escaped 3 years ago, does that mean that for like 2.5 years he was just completely
Off grid.
Well, no, he was working at the school as the headmaster, but he just didn't do anything, and now suddenly he's lost it again.
Well, like I said, I'm not sure now if it's 3 years or 3 months.
And also, how did he even get the position as headmaster of a school if he's just escaped from a mental, institution? It all makes no sense.
That's all very important, and you may say it makes no sense, but it's not as important and nonsensical as this. Once he's put back into the psych ward, the orderlies finish talking about him, and the camera goes in onto Father Jensen while he's sitting there in his chair all strapped up. And he says, "I need women to drain my precious fluids." And then the movie ends. So why
do I not remember that? That seems like the kind of thing you would remember, doesn't it?
Yeah,
wow.
I need women to drain my precious fluids.
I don't know.
Because he's gotten rid of his porn magazines now, so he needs women to drain his fluids.
Was questioning though. I was like, well, those definitely his porn magazines. Or were they like one of the people he offed, and he offed them because they had all those porn magazines?
Well, after that end, I'm thinking
it
there
sounds
is.
Like it was his.
There it is, yeah. But what's that got to do
so
with
big
anything?
hypocrite as well. As everything
Why
else.
does he need women to drain his precious fluids?
Isn't that what most men?
Yeah, but why does he why is that specifically what he says at the end of the film?
I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of questions that go unanswered in this film.
It's things like that would put it number 2 for me. That and Wolf.
The two things that I find the most annoying.
Yeah.
Nonsense and an idiot.
And just accusing women of being on the period and stuff like that.
Stupid.
Good stuff. Number 1, Not Trauma from 1986, Chopping Mall. How good was this? How great was this?
I don't think I enjoyed it as much as you did.
What?
No. Definitely not.
Is that because I broke down again in hysterics?
So as we mentioned earlier, it sounds like there's just some slasher with like a meat cleaver going around or something. But that is not the case. This is like a weird RoboCop type thing where we've got bots lasering and talking. And that always takes points off for me. I just don't enjoy that kind of thing.
Don't enjoy robots shooting lasers at their face.
It's so stupid.
So we open up on Johnny Five. Everyone knows Johnny Five from Short Circuit. Johnny Five is alive. Yeah, you know it. And he's stalking a thief, but it turns out it's just an advertisement. It's the film portion of a presentation at at Park Plaza Mall. And these robots have been invented to neutralize threats in the mall. They're called Protectors. Protector 1, Protector 2, Protector 3.
What was this obsession in the 80s with technological advancement? It's so stupid.
And there is like an Ed 209 demonstration where the guy who's doing the presentation, he gets someone out of the crowd to come up and threaten one of the bots, and then the bot just neutralize him, doesn't blow him away Ed 209 style. But I thought, this must be like some kind of homage to RoboCop, but this predates RoboCop by a year.
Yeah. It also doesn't have anywhere near the same serious tone as RoboCop.
But now, because of these protectors,
pretty dumb.
Park Plaza will be the safest mall in the state. So just in the state. So how unsafe was this
movie
place?
also comes up with a lot of questions, because even during this, video and presentation and stuff, someone
Business
is like,
presentation.
well, what? So if someone robs the place, then these robots are just gonna like kill them, and the guy's like, no, they'll just be neutralized. So like lasered or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
And later on we find out that these robots have been equipped with a lot more than that.
Yeah. Once we get to the opening credits, we get mall culture, shopping centre culture, fast food, music stores, elevators, beauty contestants going up and down escalators and distracting all the men. Well, why not?
Okay.
Guess what? Barbara Crampton's here, and she plays Susie, who works in a diner in the shopping mall. And I just wanted to mention that she's getting grief from the cook behind the counter, and he's just there with a fag in his mouth, like smoking over all the food and stuff.
And he's wiping his like utensils on his disgustingly dirty apron. I mean, I would not eat at that establishment.
This movie was again not quite as bad as Splatter University when it came to people, but there's quite a lot of people in this as well. So so now we're introduced to a control room guy. There's a guy in control room in the mall overlooking like CCTV and all this. And there's a lightning strike, and I do believe it's the lightning strikes that are going on that hit the robots and turn them into killbots.
Is that so? I must have missed that.
And but the control room guy is looking at porno. He's looking at porno magazines. So of course he needs to get done in the neck. Yeah. With like a. And I say, of course he deserves that because he's been looking at porno, and also he's smoking away as well. You just smoke anywhere.
Sure.
Yeah, good stuff. This was also the shopping mall they used was one using Commando with Arnold.
Anyway, stuff. You were like, oh, you can't keep track of people, but the first guy you've mentioned is already dead, so you don't really need to keep track of that.
Well, he comes back somewhat.
What?
Yeah.
How could he come back?
Well,
I'll
let you know. So Mike and Greg, right? We're now introduced to Mike and Greg. They're young workers, and they're in like a shirt and tie.
Yeah.
So Mike and Greg and their supervisor Ferdy. And Ferdy's like the nerd guy because he's a supervisor, and Mike and him are especially arguing, and then like Greg's like, "Come on, guys!"
Is like the
jockey type guy, yeah. So Greg's like, "Come on, guys! It's Friday. It's party time. It's party night." So then Ferdy's like, "Okay, I guess because it's party night." So they call a truce because it's time to party. It's Susie's party, and talking of Susie's party, right? There's a guy and a girl, newlyweds, Rick and Linda. They're in a parking lot. It seems like they're broken down. Rick doesn't really want to go to this party. But he fixes the car. Linda gets back in there, and she convinces him to go to the party by removing her underwear and swinging it. That is a good tactic. It's like, how about now?
What did you say about fixing the car?
They're kind of like broken down.
Okay, no.
He fixes the car.
No, he doesn't.
Well, whoever fixes the car.
That was the big. No, but that was a big thing. Did you not remember? Right. She's like. He's like, okay, now try it, and it still isn't working. She's like, 3 strikes, you're out, my turn. And then she goes, does one thing, she says to him, try it, and of course, car comes to life. And he's like, every time! So we've got the, beginning of the whole women can do this. How do you not remember? I thought that would have really stuck with you.
I guess that's the only woman can do this thing. Because I've got the complete opposite reminder of this. Yeah, so anyway, I thought it was much more important that she took off her panties and...
I don't.
Thrush him in his face, because then now he's seen the panties off, he's like, okay, let's go and party.
Yeah, also,
what kind of party is this going to be?
Like, one of them is related to like Ferdy or someone. They're definitely related to someone, that's why they're going.
Michael's got a girlfriend called Leslie, right? And they're making out in her part of the shopping mall, which is a clothing store, but her dad catches them. And she's like, oh, don't worry, Dad, we're just going to Susie's party tonight. It's all about this party. Now we're back in the control room. And this other control room guy walks in, and he's looking for Marty, the dead control room guy. So that's how Marty's back. He's like, Marty, you can't just leave your post, kind of thing. And he sits down, he starts like, maybe he's reading porn as well. Then the robots start making like little noises behind him. He's a bit suspicious. And they spear him in the neck as well.
I actually quite enjoyed his performance. It's quite a lot of back and forth of like him thinking he hears stuff and nothing happening, but yeah.
Finally though, it's time to shake it at the party. And this party is taking place in the furniture store, a department store in the shopping mall. Ferdy doesn't want to shake it, but then he's introduced to Alison, and he perks right up. They've both been set up because they're kind of like nerds. Yeah, so they need help. And also there's a killbot roaming about. Little do they know. The newlyweds in his furniture store, Rick and Linda, they get into the bed. Thinking, what kind of party? They're undressing, getting into the bed. It's like just open, isn't it? Just beds everywhere, sofas everywhere.
Yeah, well, they do that whole panning thing. So we see them in their bed, getting down to business. And then we pan just a little way over the shop to another bed, and there's another couple getting down to business.
Yeah, Susie and Greg are about to get down to it, and then Greg remarks that she smells of pepperoni because she's been working in the deli all day or whatever.
She gets pissed off, but it turns out he likes it.
He likes it, yeah. Pepperoni and... Yeah.
And then she's like, well, in that case, and with her back to him, she reveals her breasts.
Yeah.
But then when we continue the
25
scene,
minutes, 49 seconds.
See, in 20 minutes. But then as we continue the scene and it continues to pan, turns out that she was basically just flashing the other couple because they're also over there on the bed doing their thing. And then finally we get to the sofa with the two nerds who are watching a movie.
No, before that, once we're going over the other couple, who I believe are Mike, and did I say his girlfriend was Leslie? Mike and Leslie. Mike's going down on Leslie, but she doesn't like it. So she kind of like kicks him out of the bed. And he's like standing up. And then we get to, Alison 30 watching television. He's plying her with alcohol. She's not resisting it, but, he's using the
He's not really.
The age-old
like,
tactic.
Would you like me to get you another drink? Because you might be thirsty.
That's just code for have this. Yeah, so now he's going to get some. But now we're introduced to Dick Miller, the one and only Dick Miller from Gremlins. Right? And he's playing Walter the janitor. And as he's mopping up the floor, he's got like two janitor colleagues that walk past him. They mock him. And, Dick Miller does his grumpy thing, which he's so famous for. Then he's got his slop bucket on the floor trying to mop up some mess. Who comes along? A protector 1 or whatever, knocks over his slop bucket and then says, "Identification, please." It's like a real police officer, inept and jumped up.
Oh, when you say slop bucket, it really was a slop bucket, wasn't it? He was just... I found that so disgusting. It was like dirty, chunky water that he was just flopping all over the floor. I was like, that's not going to clean anything.
Yeah, and Walter doesn't take very kindly.
No, he's grumpy, like you said.
Yeah, so he ends up being electrocuted, gets like lasered. And because he's standing in the wet, he gets electrocuted.
Yeah.
And that's the end of him. Yeah, so these Protector 101s are really...
They've gone mental.
Worth the investment. Now look, I already mentioned that Michael's not doing a very good job on his girlfriend Leslie, because she's kicked him out.
I don't recall that moment.
She's kicked him out.
I recall her wanting
from pleasing
cigarettes,
her.
But...
No, well, if you just listen, after that, she's then like, "Oh, I'm not going to give you any unless you go and get me my smokes. It's got to be a very particular brand as well." He doesn't want to go walking around the mall at night. So what does she do? Reveals some life-affirming breasts. Remember these ones?
Yes, I remember them.
Yeah, you were talking about them the other day, so don't act like you weren't impressed. She also tells him to hurry back, so he knows that once
because she wants her smokes.
He's going to get lucky. So
she's just using what's at her...
Poor Mike.
what she can, her breasts, to get her smokes
He wanders off to a cigarette machine. There's like, do cigarette machines really even exist anymore? There was one in Austria last year, but that's the only one I've seen for a while. A killbot comes to Michael and then knocks him out. So he's not quite dead, it seems. He just knocks him out.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure Mike comes back, right?
No.
Oh, okay, he's dead then.
Because Leslie goes to find him when he's taking too long with his cigarettes. We all know what people can get like when they need their nicotine. And she's like, "God, stop messing around." And then she like walks into his feet when he's crumpled on the floor.
Yeah. What I want to say though is, I used to work in a shopping centre, in a record store. And if I knew this is the kind of thing that went down in the furniture store, I would have befriended some of the female staff in there if they were like young and hot.
Yeah, they're also all talking like, "Oh, it's going to be closed over the weekend, so as long as we get everything cleaned up." Because if they're all just like having sex in all the beds, like there's going to be some serious cleanup to be done.
Yeah, like you said, Mike's girlfriend. She's left the bed now. She's like, "Where are my cigarettes?" When she comes across Mike, she ends up being chased by a killbot shooting lasers at her.
Bots?
And we get elongated ass shot of her just running, like her bum is running. That's what we have.
Have we seen the actual lasers come out of their faces yet?
Because a little bit of lasers.
That killed me a little bit.
But he shoots her in the face and her head explodes.
That was it. Yeah. Oh, God.
Excellent.
This film.
Then it says, "Have a nice day."
Is that not RoboCopy as well?
Thank you for your cooperation.
Yeah. So this film there's a lot of lasers to come, like pew 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 pew.
That's when I lost it.
It's it's just completely random, apparently, as to when they decide, okay, now it hits someone and now it doesn't. Because there were specific scenes when you were like, I'm sure I just saw them get hit 40 times.
Well, when you got 3
unscathed.
robots chasing you, shooting a laser a second. Pew, pew,
And
pew.
then at other times, there's like one laser and it just like blows someone's head up. So
When she had her head blown off by this laser, all the rest of the gang in the furniture, they've all seen this happen. So they've got to like formulate a plan. So the lads end up going to Peckinpah's sports store. I was like, oh, what are they going to get from here? Just a bunch of guns, apparently. It was like, there's an assault rifle, like an AK-47, Smith & Wesson, but I thought it was like golfing goods.
Exactly. So forgive us, Americans, because I suppose actually hunting is, you know, a legitimate sport. So sporting goods shops, I guess, do have guns. But when we, as Europeans, were like, do they have a sporting goods shop here? I was thinking, what, they're going to get some like cricket bats and stuff, or like golf clubs.
I'm pretty sure I've been into sporting goods shops in America and I didn't see any guns.
No, I can't say I've actually ever seen any guns on sale in America either.
Maybe in 84, 86, sorry, whenever this was, yeah.
Or certain types of sporting... I don't know. But either way, they pick up a barrage of weaponry.
It's now that they've armed themselves that it's now when the robots come and start shooting multiple lasers and 30's like... and...
They're not very smart either, because they seem to think that you have to be uncovered and unprotected to shoot, because they go like behind some big pots or whatever for protection. But then when they're like, okay, now I'm going to shoot, they get up out of protective area, just like, pop, 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 pop. They would have been killed, definitely. But
there's a lot, I mean, it's intense laser fire that they're under.
And also, the men
They are shot about 40 times each, but it doesn't matter.
not. They are, but they're not. And the men are gentlemen, because when this group have all sort of barricaded themselves in somewhere temporarily, they know that the bots are going to find them, but they need to get out. And obviously part of this whole safety thing at the mall is not only are these super bots with the lasers going around at night, there's also an automatic lock on all the doors. So they're like a bit, oh, what can we do? And they realise there's air vents, right?
Why? But are you going to get to the point of why you call them gentlemen?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say now. So they're like, well, if we can use the air vents... Oh, I'm sorry, am I saying some words? If we get to the air vents, we can crawl down to the car park and then get out. And why they are gentlemen is because, of course, all of the ladies are going up first. And then, wouldn't you know it, before the first dude can climb up into the vent, the robots have
Well, is
pummeled
that
their way in.
Is that gentlemanly or sexist?
I'm going to go gentlemanly.
That's problematic.
I also think it's gentlemanly when someone opens a door for me rather than, you know, bitch slapping them because I'm a strong woman. No. Yes, we know I can open the door, but you might as well do it for me.
I'm not going to offer women my seat on the public
transport
sex, anymore.
So.
Girls are trying to find the girls and the guys, and the girls aren't having as much luck with their weapons. You know, they're trying to work their weapons, and it's like...
Yeah, but one of the girls in the vents is so annoying. She keeps moaning about everything. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
She's like, oh my god, it's so hot. I was like, oh, okay, so you're a bit hot, but do you really want to die? And it's Nerdy Girl, who's the most like, no, we've got to do this, we're going to be fine, just got to keep going. But it is Moany Girl, I think that's Barbara Crampton actually, Moany Girl, who says, no, I can't handle this. And she gets all 3 of the girls out of the vents. So they're back in danger zone.
Right. Talking of Susie, Barbara Crampton, she then ended up getting lasered in the leg. And I thought, oh, Barbara Crampton's no way she's going to die. But then the robot just sets her ablaze and burns her alive. I was like, it was a bit unnecessary. It just took a really dark turn, this movie now.
Yeah.
One was like, pew, pew, lasers! Then it's like, burned to death.
Oh, that was it. When you said they weren't having luck with their weaponry. She gets lasered right after, because they've been into some store as well and gotten a bunch of gasoline, and one of them knows how to make Molotov cocktails or something. And they tried using that, but these robots are like demolition proof, aren't they?
Protectors. Protector 1, Protector 2, Protector 3.
So then Barbara Crampton, yeah.
AK Killbots.
Oh, and they all have their own colour laser, by the way.
Yeah, was it like pink,
blue,
yellow, blue,
yeah.
something like that? Did you find it sexist that the guys got shot at like 40 times each and didn't die, and then Barbara Crampton took one blast in the leg and...
I didn't see it as a sexist thing, but like I said, it was just so silly that they were just like, oh, we're going to have 100,000 lasers not touching anyone, then we're going to have one laser that offs someone. So. Yeah.
The gang are now holed up in the cafe, figuring out what to do again.
Is this when the boys have found them again? Or?
Susie's boyfriend, Greg, is pissed now. because obviously she's been lasered and set ablaze. So they plan to trash the supercomputer, which they know controls all the bots.
But they don't know where it is.
But unfortunately for Greg, or should I say fortunately, as they leave to put this plan into place, he just falls off the top balcony and plummets to his death. So he can be with Susie now, I guess.
Was it just that simple? I mean,
yeah, he leaves.
Okay.
He leaves and he plummets.
Okay.
It's over for him. Protector 3, by the way, has come under fierce attack, but it turns out he's still alive.
Yeah.
Right? Also, when they're holed up in the cafe, one of the girls who's left, I can't remember which one, but she comes up with the immortal lines because she's breaking down. She's like, I guess I'm not used to being chased around the mall in the middle of the night by killer robots. And it was played straight. That's some good dialogue.
Well, I can't say I'd be used to it either.
They've
She's
come
not
up,
wrong.
They've come up with a mannequin plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to use mannequin and paint and slick.
It's Nerd Girl. She's like, well, if they want targets, let's give them targets. Yeah.
Yeah, mannequin plan.
To confuse the
right,
robots.
to electrocute. They do electrocute on the robots, and the robot goes mental. He's like, pew, 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 pew. He's like shooting lasers everywhere because he's been electrocuted.
Well, one of them, it might be this one. They get him into
it's a 40 kill bot.
They get him into the lift, the elevator, and it's rigged with like explosives, and all the guys are like shooting at it, and none of them can get it. And then Nerd Girl takes one of the guns, steadies herself on the rail, and
when you say Nerd Girl, do you mean
blast.
30s Day Allison, right? Yeah, because once the one of the kill bots starts malfunctioning, shooting his lasers everywhere, the last guy remaining, he sacrifices himself. So we're just left with Ferdy and Allison. Mm-hmm. So they make a good plan to split up. I always find it's a good plan to split up in movies.
Of course, but the thing is, because like you said, they need to find this like supercomputer to override everything and shut the robots down. But the problem is, as I mentioned, they don't know where the hell this thing is. So they're like, well, we're wasting time. If we split up, we can cover twice the ground and try and find it.
Yeah.
But at this point, he's not very gentlemanly because, I mean, I guess we know guns don't work. But even so, he sends her off with no weaponry whilst he walks off with his rifle or whatever it is.
And now it's not sexist because this woman is independent and capable.
Well, it's also just kind of a bit pointless because
Alison's
guns
grown
clearly don't
through
work.
the movie.
Well, she's definitely the badass of everyone.
Fortunately for Ferdy, he comes across a kill bot and his lasers malfunctioned, but it doesn't matter because he just picks something up and throws it at Ferdy and Ferdy dies.
Yeah, like I said, these bots have a lot of ways of killing people.
Do you like it when they go...
Yeah, they have they have 4 like weird tentacle arm things.
like
I think that's what went through the first guy's throat.
Yeah, it was.
With 4 little pincer things. And yeah, they're always just going...
Alison is now being stalked by a kill
Terrifying.
bot and she hides in a pet shop. Why she's hiding
Yeah,
in
I
the
was
pet
like,
shop?
why would you take it into the pet shop, of all places?
A killbot
endangering life.
enters, just smashing the place up, this killbot. Just absolutely wrecking the place. Didn't seem to be many animals in there, apart from tarantulas and snakes, which then get knocked onto the floor and they go all over Alison.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the killbot loses interest, doesn't he? He's like, oh, I can't find Alison. I'm going to leave the pet store. So she crawls out, and next thing you know, she's hanging off the railings because the killbot is all over the
stay
floor.
out of sight.
Yeah.
And she falls onto a tent.
She drops on the floor below, and yeah, there's a tent set up, as
Which
you
I
say.
guess saves her somewhat.
Yeah, and she goes into a hardware store.
But she did hurt her leg, and I'm pretty sure in each scene it was like a different leg that was hurting.
Most likely. And she goes into a hardware store.
Paint shop or something, isn't it? Yeah.
She gets loads of paint and drops it all over the floor. She's just spreading. I was like, what the hell is she doing? Why is she just putting paint all over the floor? But it turns out, because the robot is like Johnny Five, he's got the tracks. It can't handle the slick.
The slip.
Yeah, so
I
she
also
gets out.
enjoyed that all the paint pots that we see her open and splash numerous ones, and they're all a different pastel shade.
Yeah, when she gets out of there, she explodes the hardware store and busts, taking down the killbot, who ends up looking a bit like the Terminator, like in the flame and stuff.
Yeah. Also, at some point in this film, rewinding a bit to when a few more of them were still alive, one of them is like doing calculations and basically saying, between all the damage and the equipment we've stolen and whatnot, we owe like $5 million or something. And I was surprised because that, of course, did enter my head because that's just the kind of person I am really early on in the movie. But I was surprised to hear the characters mention
financials.
it. Yeah. Well, as soon as they went into that sporting goods store and started stealing weapons, I was wonder who's going to have to pay for that. And who's going to pay for all the damage that the robots have done? They
Well,
break down
characters that we haven't
doors,
seen,
they
so we don't
break
care
down
about
all
them.
sorts of stuff.
I care more about Susie getting lit on fire and burning to death.
This mall's going to be closed for a long time.
When Alison crawls off to safety, 30's alive.
Aww.
30 comes down the stairs, so Alice and 30 can pick up where they left off, hit the department store, furniture store, get into bed. You know what comes next?
Yeah, because, doors don't open till like 6 a.m. So.
Yeah. What did you learn from Chopping Mall?
What did I learn? That nerds are always the safe bet.
I learned that people that work in furniture stores are dirty and hold after-hours orgies, so I'm onto them now.
But that was only the guys. The girls were working in various other places, and they were still totally up for it.
Yeah, they made a plan to hit the furniture store.
And
Good plan.
they all just had sex, as we said, within like a stone's throw of each other.
Yeah, that's why I said it was weird.
It was weird. I don't think I'd want to do that.
Why not?
It's really weird. It's really weird.
What if I smell of pepperoni?
There wasn't even like really dark with like, music and all of this stuff. It was just like here's some bright light. There's your other mate having sex. There's your other mate having sex.
They were playing the stores, CD player.
I don't know. I can't say I noticed, but it wasn't much of a party vibe, to be honest.
Well, when you're
and they
that
didn't
young,
seem very drunk or
they
anything.
haven't got their own place, so they need some privacy. This is about as private as it gets them, even though they've got to do it next to each other.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I learned anyway. So great film. I'm going to say like 11 out of 10.
I will say, even though robots and the whole futurism type thing can really aggravate me sometimes, it was really funny. Pew, pew, pew! Have a nice day!
It was ultra entertaining.
It was hilarious. Yeah.
Entertaining as hell.
Especially watching it with you, who were loving it so much.
I was loving it, yeah. If
It was so dumb, it was so silly.
You can't really do justice at how I lose it if I find something really funny. Yeah.
I've never seen anyone break down the way you do when you find something funny.
Oh, if stuff is funny, stuff is funny.
I don't think anything's ever had that effect on me in my life. I feel like I'm really missing out, and I wish something could make me laugh that hard.
What about Joe Gatto as a genie being smashed
That's
into
hilarious,
into
but
the
it's still nothing on you.
No.
It's sometimes I feel like you're about to die with like a seizure of laughter.
Well, I can't breathe, so sometimes I'm close to death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Chopping
anyway,
Mall's fantastic.
a good start to this year's horror movies.
Yeah, let's keep it up. I'll try not to do any more trauma next week.
Yeah, let's have a trauma break.
Even though I love trauma.
Clearly.